Hey YouTube, what's the day? Monday? Happy Monday. Well, our old friend Larry Nelson is rearing his head up again. Larry Nelson, what in the hell is wrong with you? I've come to some conclusions just from the videos I've seen in the last few days. I noticed that you have, I think my last count was 5 people making videos about you. And I think this is something that you crave. Even though we know you went through a terrible period last year, and all these people came at you accusing you of being all kind of perverts and molesters and incest, whatever, having incest with your children and all that. Even though you hated that and it pulled at you you were about to lose your mind. It made you so angry, so frustrated because you didn't know how to defend yourself. It was a rough period. We could all see that, right? And people took compassion and mercy, and that thing had to die before it exploded, right? There's a part of you, Larry, that misses that attention. That's it. Because you wouldn't be coming on here saying these incendiary things. And you said more than one. Now, I think you should have grown more than this by now. What am I saying? Okay, so you missed that attention, right? When you with the tea, there was the conversation. They were all talking about me. They're all making the videos about me. They're making commercials about me, cartoons about me. They're all talking about Larry. And you missed that because you're doing everything you can to spark some sort of huge beef again. You're still talking about homosexuality. Larry, do you know that the average straight person, they may brush up against this issue every 3 or 4 years because of somebody they had an encounter with in somewhere in life, but no straight man is sitting up here talking about this shit year after year after year after year after year. You're constantly telling us what a man is. I'm a man. As a man, I'm a man. It's like someone has schooled you on what a man is. This is more than likely because you were raised by women. So you were not experiencing being a man. You were given instructions as to what a man should do, how a man should act. Oh, that's what a man does. That's what it is. Something that you're going to have to deal with at some point, because you have not grown any since I came in contact with you. Remember how we met? You kept on talking about this other weirdo, what's that child's name? Andrew Caldwell. You kept talking about her and talking about her and talking about her and doing very good impressions of her or him. You kept doing very good impressions of him, right? And I said, well, what is going on with this Larry Nelson? I think I titled the video, Church of Gays in Crisis. The subtitle, Who is Larry Nelson? Now, you convinced me. You convinced me that I was mistaken, that you were not, in fact, a frustrated homosexual. You didn't ask me for an apology, but I thought it only right, because I said, well, if I have gotten this wrong, I need to apologize for that, right? Maybe, but perhaps this person doesn't realize the oddity of having every conversation he has on YouTube about homosexuality. Maybe there's nothing weird about it at all. Maybe it's nothing strange. I just got it wrong. So I apologize, and I took down those videos, which was bringing in a nice little piece of change at the time, right? So now I'm perplexed again, Larry. I'm perplexed again because why would you come on? See, I said, well, mate, I don't know. I had no evidence that man's a homosexual, right? And I still don't. And I still don't care. Phobia. Homophobia, though. This is the issue. Because today I heard you say out of your mouth, I just don't agree with homosexuality. I can't see a man kissing another man. And I mean, goddamn, did we just go back 10 years? Is there any progress being made at all in your understanding, Larry Nelson? Why would you say something like that? Why do you believe that anyone on here is concerned what you think about a man kissing another man? Do you want to ask me what I think about a man putting his mouth in, I can't even say it. You ain't supposed to understand other people's sexuality, what they do. You put your nose in their booty holes and everything else. That's not anything that's concerning me. Oh, let me see. I got jam-o thoughts here. But you continue to say these things. A few days ago, you were getting into somebody else, and I don't remember who. You were saying something about you can't win an argument with a woman. You can't. You were talking to 5'8". You can't win an argument against a homosexual because they want to be a woman. What the hell is they? Because they want to be a woman. Why would that mean you can't have an argument with them? So it's reared its head again. So you've been popping up again, Larry Nelson. And I believe either consciously or subconsciously, you want to get back in the spotlight. That's what it is. And I'm not criticizing you totally. That's a big part of what this whole damn internet thing's about. You know, you want some spotlight. So last year you were being seen by thousands of people, everybody laughing, right? Even though it's negative attention, it's still attention. It's still being noticed. It's still I'm somebody. And then when the fire died down, you had to go back into your little house, back to those long shifts in order to make money to buy the things you want, which is fine. But I'm just saying it got really, really boring and you became invisible again. So now you want to spark this up. I don't feel like mentioning that other person's name today. So I'm not going to mention the other person. You know what I'm talking about. But homophobia. Phobia is like you believe that some outside thing can change a person to a homosexual. That's basically it, to my thinking. I mean, I can go and look up the dictionary and see what they say. Come here. But phobia is when you believe that if I believe something, if I will accept something, then that could change my sexuality. I must resist, or I'm going to turn into a homosexual. Oh, don't let the children, don't let them hear the word. Oh my God, they're going to hear the word. That's a phobia. Were you afraid that your children are going to become homosexual because they know that there are homosexuals in the world? That's phobia. You're afraid of it. You're afraid of some outside thing that's going to change someone's sexuality. You're afraid that you have to beat your children. You have to beat them and make them straight. You actually believe that you're making them straight. You're not making them anything. You're just making them homophobics. But that's just the mentality, Larry Nelson. You see, I believe that it was harmful for you to be raised by a single parent. I don't remember the circumstances of your family and all that kind of stuff. But I believe that you have just gotten a lot of information about the wrongness of homosexuality. I don't know if there was ever any circumstance in your family or around your family or in your church or anything like that. But it might have just been a very, very homophobic preacher pastor you had when you were a kid that you were just pumped into you and pumped into you and pumped into you. And you actually believe that something you heard or saw is going to make you a homosexual. That's fear. That's phobia. I have his friend, beautiful young guy. He was in a mentorship program at a church. And they were raised here in San Francisco, right? And he said, up until the time he was 13 years old, his parents, they lived in the hills and they had to come through the Castro in order to get downtown, right? So every time they came downtown, they would push his head down into the car so he wouldn't see the homosexuals. Now, what is that if it's not fear? It's fear that if he sees something, it's going to make him homosexual. But it turns out the kid was already homosexual. That's why they were afraid, because they already suspected that their child was homosexual. But they thought as long as they could block it out, as the words that could not be spoken, he would be straight. You don't make people straight, fool. Did I call you a fool? I just said I wasn't going to come in here and disrespect Larry, because he's been pretty respectful over the last couple of years. I mean, he's been pretty good over the last year, and I have hopefully been the same with you. We've come to a truce. I did take the videos down where I had the other opinion. I thought it was the right thing to do at the time. But just be aware, brother. Now, you, and as far as you keep talking about Miss Caroline. Booger. See, Larry, Larry Nelson, listen, you said that you straight men out there, you understand what I'm saying? You're not getting it. There are no straight men out there, child. You're in the gay. You're in the gay women's section. You're in the gays and women. That's all that's here, Larry. I mean, recently, it was, what was that brother's name? Some guy, he made a video about some conversation I had. And he was saying that he was heterosexual. I know I have a cousin that's heterosexual. So there are some that look in. Not many participate. But there are, I guess, some heterosexual people out there kind of thing. But the majority of the people you chose to interact with online, Larry, are either gay or they are woman. That's who's over here. So just to say, oh, you brothers know what I'm talking about? No. They're not a part of this shit. See, you like the tea. You like getting the tea. Because I strongly suspect that even though when you're not saying anything, you always seem to know what's going on, right? So, I mean, you like listening. So there's some characteristics there, Larry, that maybe you're not in touch with, that you like all this shit. Is something draws you to it. But you always have to make the distinction, oh, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. Oh, I can't see a man kissing another man. That sounds like something out of the... I mean, I think we've all grown past that, haven't we? Men are kissing men on television. What is the big thing about that? Because you have to always drop it in there. So, Larry, good luck on your journey to clout. You know what's going to bring on you, though, right? Let's understand each other. We've been through this before. As you keep pushing and trying to get back into the spotlight, because I know you miss it. You miss the fame. You miss the glitter, the sparkle. As you're pushing towards that, at some point, you're going to tick off one of these people that you don't like. You're going to capture their attention. And guess what? And then here they're going to come back for your family again. Back to doxing you again. Back to researching your background. Back to throwing you in this big old whirlpool which you cannot stand, but you seem to be drawn to. I mean, you keep... Larry Nelson, you're doing everything you can to get back in the spotlight, right? 5 videos made about you in the last week. Different instances. You know, do I look like a woman? Larry, is there anything about me that tells you I want to be a woman? Just keep it real. There's nothing there, but you make blanket statements about gays that want to be women, right? in this sector where it's all gays and women. So how do you think you weren't going to offend nobody with that? It's almost, I don't want to call people, I hate calling people stupid or saying people ignorant. I think ignorant is a better word because it just seems you just don't know. But I mean, you've got to expect people to come back at you with that. I don't know why you would say something like that. Anyway, I'm off track. I lost my train of thought. Hold on a minute. Okay, Larry Nelson. You said you work for the prison system, right? I'm going to do one more little fact thing here. You said you worked for the prison system for several years, right? You were a prison guard. And you're saying, you went on today with this thing that I saw about how people in prison, the young boys getting their manhood taken away from them, making them do things, do it or die, and all this, and everyone turned out by the hundreds and the hundreds of them turned out. I went to prison 10 times. How is it even possible? In California, biggest prison population in the United States. How is it that I never seen any of this? All this turning out and kind of shit. What I saw was there was plenty of gay people around and plenty of boys who wanted to send them packs of cigarettes and cartons of tobacco and zoom zooms and wham whams. I don't know that people were taking boys' booties. Now, that might be something you got from a movie back in the 50s or something like that. But I don't know how you could have worked for the prison system and come up with that conclusion. Because that is straight bullshit. And I don't need nobody to correct me on that. I don't need another opinion on it. That's straight bullshit. People out there, they turning them out. Every time they make a movie, they got to put one of those in, you know. Oh, this is Susie. She used to be Benjamin. Yeah, I turned him out. You know, Larry Nelson, stop lying. What is this confusion you had about sexuality? I think, here's my advice. I'm going to shut up. Go and get your ass some therapy and just say, doctor, What is this thing with me and homosexuality? I mean, what is it that draws me to it and from it at the same time? Why is it that I have to let them know that I don't approve of them? Why is it that I have to go into these environments where there's so many of them? Why is it that it's such a big issue with me for my entire life, heterosexual and homosexual? Why am I still trying to tell people that I am a man and this is what a man does? And that, like somebody told me, this is what a man does. It sounds like the voice of a woman telling a boy what a man does. Doesn't sound real. If you're a heterosexual man, you just be that. You just be that. There's no discussion. You ain't got to understand about no man kissing no other man. What difference does it make to you? All right, brother. I ain't starting no shit with you. You got plenty going on now, I see. But I do recognize you enjoy being the T. You're pressing it. You're pressing the gas. And be careful of the demons that you stir up as you're doing this, right? Because when they get on you again, Larry, you've forgotten. Maybe you should go back to some of the old videos and see what you went through. So what you're not realizing is, if these other people with dubious characters, shall we say, if they get back on your ass again, how you gonna shake them loose? Do you remember how long it took you to shake it loose? Is that what you really, really want? Do you really want the attention and the smoke that bad, Larry Nelson? Stop making these incendiary. I just can't believe a person can stay that dumb. I mean, by now, just in your last couple of years on here, I think you know what language is going to get you in trouble, and you still choose to use it. You still tend to do it. It's hard to have compassion for somebody when you see this kind of behavior. You stir it up over and over and over again. Sure, I could stay out of it just because I don't like the people, the other ones that you're beefing with. I don't like them either. But this homophobic thing, this is a kind of a thing for all of us, right? We're trying to get better. We're trying to move forward. It's like you going backwards. You're talking the way people was talking 20 years ago. Oh, I can't see a man kissing another man. Girl, that is so 1970s and 80s. I mean, they're married now. You still worrying about them kissing? Girl. Anyway. You're not a girl. That slipped out. All right, people. Later.